Focus is more than sharpness, it's control. With a CINE lens and follow focus, you get to decide exactly where the audience looks. People think focus is just technical. Honestly, with a CINE lens and follow focus, it's one of the most creative tools you've got as a filmmaker.
Hey guys, so thanks for joining us. Today I wanted to catch up on a product that I've been using over, I would say, the last 3 to 4 years. And again, because I use so many cinema lenses, yes, I have auto lenses that I use for Sony's, but for the majority I use PL lenses, and I don't have autofocus. When I use those, not on the Pixis, not on my Ursa, none of those have autofocus. Although there's been chatter about adding autofocus to some of the Blackmagic cameras, I don't think it's ever going to be to the point where you're, one-man band using your camera and having, autofocus without having a focus puller. Now, what's great about the PDMOVIE devices is that you can do it both ways. You can have it where it's automatic, or you can use a basic follow focus system and have a focus puller if you like. And the best part of this new product is the battery is much larger, it's got great torque and expanded LiDAR capabilities, meaning it can go a little bit further and it's got a wider range, which to me, the Focus LiDAR third version that they made was almost next to perfect. The only issue comes down to when it runs out of battery. You have a second battery here. I can plug this in directly and power it from a V-mount and have a wire hooked up, and it's been great. So without further ado, let's talk about the PDMOVIE Live Air Smart 4. Let's get into it. Now again, to reiterate, I've been using their products for 3 to 4 years. They've been great in communication. I love using products that are up and coming. The first time I saw it in NAB, I got really excited. I got one and really enjoyed using it. The first one didn't have LiDAR. It was a basic system, but you can use remote and basically, use it as a follow focus system, whether you were mounting it on your camera or if you needed to step away, you can adjust, depending on your needs. Then they came out with the LiDAR system, which I thought did a phenomenal job. And I'm actually using it now on the FX3 that's shooting me right now. And that is on. I set it up for 5 different lenses and it's fantastic. The beginnings of this, the hardest part compared to, let's say, the DJI follow focus system, obviously is going to be the price point. Now, they have a great promotion happening right now and you should check them out. Regardless if you get the 4 or the 3, but this is a phenomenal product. And if you're looking to save some money and have it work in a professional setting, this is the way to go. One of the reasons I really enjoy using this is that it's, once you set it up, it's like set it and forget it. So you hook it up, set it up a certain way, and it works with all the lenses that you have set up. The only caveat I would say is that if you have more than 5 lenses, which, I think on a shoot, I generally will probably use 3 lenses, not 5, but it's nice to have a full 5 kit of lenses all programmed and ready. And it saves that onto the device itself, which is fantastic. And even if you wanted to go with something like a dual system where you had a zoom cine lens, you can actually work the zoom and the actual focus as well. One would be manual, the other ones you can do auto or manual. So gives you great options. Again, what they send you is obviously the follow focus system. I'm not going to do a whole breakout, but typically they always send batteries, extra batteries with it, any connection cables. It does use a USB-C connector, so you can connect that to your battery, or if you have some sort of output connection on your camera, you can use that as well. To power the device. And again, the battery lasts a fairly long time. So typically on a shoot, I would say, between 4 to 8 hours, this thing will last. What's great about the new one is there is that off power button, so you don't need to take the battery out, where the older one, you would have to take the battery out to disconnect the power. And it didn't have a USB-C connection, so you couldn't leave it on, let's say, all day, where here you can. So that is one of the biggest improvements. And again, the LiDAR is so much better. And there is a switch that you can use, and you can, set up basically how you want that LiDAR to work. And depending on how that works, how wide it is, how narrow it is, and how far it actually can go. And I'll put up the details of exactly what that is. The other thing is that I use a lot of really long lenses. So, you know, whether it's a 75, 85, 125, whatever that is, it still pulls focus fairly nicely, especially with this one. I had a little bit of issues with the third version, but this version has worked extremely well. And I'll show you some examples of that. It works extremely well using those longer lenses, and I really enjoyed that. Again, if you're looking for a budget focus system, this is going to be it. So look at those those promos they have going on right now. Check out the link below, and you can read up and get more details. Again, I've used their systems now for 3 to 4 years, and I could vouch that even the first one still works, and I've used it a ton of times. So durability wise, it's great. The fact they give you the additional battery, easy go full day shoot without having to worry about it. Even if you're not connecting it to a power source, you have that remote action. Or you can use one of their kits where it has a follow focus wheel, something like this. And I've used this in the past as well. I don't use it as much if I'm kind of solo shooting and I want it to be auto and I'm the one behind the camera and I want to have that control. I could turn it on and off. But if you want to give this to somebody else, with something, let's say like this, where I can show you, I can control both LiDAR systems here using this with an actual preview monitor, then I'm good to go. That's another option. I talk about that in other videos as well. Again, this system itself works like a charm. My use with the DJI follow focus system, it was a bit cumbersome, and the last shoot that we did, I actually just turned it off because it was giving us issues. Again, I'm not at fault. It could be a user error or whatever that may be. Setting up sometimes could be cumbersome. This one, I wish the instructions were a little bit more clear, but since I've had two already, it was easy enough to do, and you can do most of your setting without anything. They also have an app that you can use to set everything up. But again, that's up to you. I believe they just released a video on kind of how to set that up, and you basically take it to 3 points, your closest, middle, and kind of like furthest point. They give you a chart to do that with. Once you set that up, it's set and it's good to go. And then that particular lens is saved, and then that's it. The placement of it, especially with CINE lenses, are going to be the same. For me, I have it in the same spot every time. So even taking the lens off and on doesn't change any of the position of where it's laid out. On the older one, I have it set up on the side as close to center as possible to the lens. That's where it's most effective. For the Pixis specifically, I have it set up right in the middle. And we can talk about some of the details. Let me get into that. Now, one of the reasons I got really excited too, they also came out with a matte box. Now, you can tighten this up. It comes with like specific rings to fit specific lenses. I do wish they gave me a few rings for the same size. Obviously they can't because there's so many lenses, but it'd be nice to request like a specific amount of rings for, let's say, a kit of lenses. So this way you can, pull that into the lens and use that, and then I can just pop this on and off. You could tighten this on and keep it on, but because I changed my lenses, I just kind of slide it on. You can use an ND filter, especially kind of like a variable circular ND filter, which is what I have here, and it just kind of screws on here, and it's great. You could mount this in different orientations if you want to clear the LiDAR. Let's say you wanted to have this be more on the side, not the top, then you can do that. Or you can remove some of these side panels if you wanted to use it. It does come with a flag up top as well. But again, for me, I'm not using it as much because I don't really truly need it. But if I did, I can do that and mount it on the side. Again, gives you a lot of hardware opportunities, step-up rings, and everything you could possibly need with this matte box to make it work with your system. Again, this keeps this system extremely light, really compact. I have everything that I can possibly need with this system. And, again, I can't say much more about it. You should check it out. If you've owned any of their original, this is the original one, you know, with no LiDAR, and I was using this for a long time. The motor still works extremely well. It was always high torque. I used it on really heavy lenses and really stiff lenses, and it worked really well. Again, had this for 3 to 4 years, still is fantastic, and I still use it. And then I have the LiDAR Smart 3 on my FX3 now, which I'm using, as you can see. I'm using that on the FX3. And then now I'm using this on my Ursa and also my Pixis, which gives me a nice, beautiful, compact look. If I want to use this particular matte box, it's great because it clears the LiDAR without a problem. I can still use my variable ND, and it works extremely, extremely well. So I'm really happy with this. Appreciate PDMOVIE for sending that out for us to test out. There was no money exchanged, just to use the product. Again, big fan of this company since they started, and really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.